This is absolutely huge. Like, look at this. This changes everything. If you hold XRP better, watch now. And the entire market here is green.
Some major announcement coming, and it's quite a coincidence because we spoke about the SEC.
So yeah, I feel like the SEC lawsuit was over 2 weeks ago, but they just don't announce it like literally off the top. They're gonna take their time, and some of the whales probably bought this. Some of the whales in the inside circles, in my opinion, have already known this info. And with this announcement being here, you can see that XRP is here 8%. So why is Pump growing more? Is because literally XRP is top 3 coin. It grew more than Ethereum. It grew more than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not on this chart as far as I see it, So XRP is literally a big bubble compared to other coins, which are very low cap.
And of course, the Ripple lawsuit just yesterday in my update, which was of course not too long ago, midnight yesterday. But yeah, let's talk about what's happening because we have some big news to cover. The broader market actually seen a push towards the upside. Bitcoin, it did push above that 115,000 first time since the month of August that, we have broken above the 115,000. So that's a big plus point that we can kind of take away right now. But XRP up about 8% with the price.
I mean, with so many people, like I feel like the next wave of retail investors, they're not going to be talking about Bitcoin because they feel like they missed out on Bitcoin. They will be talking about XRP because that's what will give them hope, right? That's what they will feel like. Everybody's talking about XRP, so why should I get Bitcoin? I feel like I already missed out, especially with these big institutions buying. Guess what? This could be trillions and trillions coming into XRP in the long term. In the midterm, it could be billions and billions.
It's currently sitting at $3.25. We're starting to see things heat up very fast. And Bitcoin comparative up 6.8%. But look at the valuation, $192.8 billion. We're approaching almost $200 billion for the valuation. And that's how fast things have switched. And the 24-hour trading volume at about $6.2 billion. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer. Anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto.
So yeah, this is over. This piece of paper costs $500 million. 500 million, guys. Why? Because this was one of the most expensive crypto lawsuits probably in the history of the world. It cost $500 million, both taxpayers and Ripple combined, if I remember correctly. So with that being over, imagine where all these funds will go, either in crypto treasuries, either in positive stuff, like crypto development, XRP development. Again, this is the big thing. This is sealed off. They don't need to pay for the lawyers anymore. And people forget that. People forget to mention how expensive the lawyers were costing XRP. And this came from somewhere, people selling XRP.
Have filed a joint dismissal of the appeals. The case is officially over, and now the judge is pretty much going to come out and put this to rest once and for all. And this is a pivotal moment for XRP and Ripple, bigger than a lot of people anticipate. Huge news for the XRP community, and that of course explains why we're seeing the price.
So yeah, all of this money that we used to be sold to, actually fund this XRP stuff is now finally over. So much money can be now coming in. Again, a lot of money can be coming in from the lawsuit into markets like XRP. They don't need to sell the tokens anymore. They had to sell billions and like 500 million. If you have to sell 500 million here when you saw these crashes, right? They had to sell even when it was 50 cents to pay the lawyers. That's just the way it was. It was a very expensive lawsuit. And of course, they also paid from their own work, from what I remember correctly, from their own profits. So Ripple is now going to have way more money for everything.
Price of XRP breaking out, and with the way things are happening, we could be retesting some very critical levels in the next few hours to come, which of course we'll talk about a little later in this update. But take a look at what Smoke says. When this case is settled, this will give the seal of approval to central banks and other.
This is what I've been telling you guys. We are now getting the approval of the banks, the big money, to have these partnerships, to have Ripple be its own bank. They didn't want that before. They were like, no, we don't want you, because this lawsuit is going to be super expensive and it's going to be risky for our brand. Why would we work with XRP? Now with that being over, SEC basically lost only in one and only some cases, which it doesn't even matter. The most important case is that right now XRP has just opened trillions of partnerships, trillions of potential partnerships, and billions of dollars of money could be flowing into XRP, because now institutions are not scared to say, I invested in XRP because I know my money will not go poof, will not go away if XRP is a security. No, just imagine, like, if you think I am joking with you, imagine when all the exchanges on the day that XRP was sued pulled it out of the exchange for a very clear reason. They didn't want the risk of being, in a huge lawsuit. And they didn't feel like that trading volume or the money they make is worth it. Now, the lawsuit was over, everybody listed it back. And the price immediately jumped from 20 cents, 30 cents to like $2. Amazing.
Financial institutions to start using XRP through the XRPL ledger. And remember the NDAs, there's so many NDAs, I believe 1,700 NDAs that Ripple has going for itself, which of course we don't really know about. And maybe now this kind of opens the floodgates for more
ETFs. That's what I've been telling you guys. ETFs are coming as well.
More ETFs, more institutional interest, maybe corporations that were sidelined that wanted to come and get XRP on their balance sheets. Maybe now they are going to start looking at it from a different lens, because of course we are hearing some big.
And just with that, another good news came also. I will show you guys. Ripple acquired Rail for $200 million. Just shows you how much money they have.
News coming out of this specific lawsuit. So I think we're about to see a big shift coming in, and then that Ripple Swell event that's coming. Where BlackRock employees going to be talking about that Ripple Swell event. Are we going to see a potential spot ETF from the Fidelity and BlackRock? Of course, that itself would be quite a bullish statement itself. But this is bigger than a lot of people realize. The price is showing that right now, and I think next few hours could.
Yeah. So people who said this is not a big thing. SEC when XRP officially listed commodity under CFTC event contracts. So this officially confirms it forever that XRP is safe from the massive lawsuit.
Be very, very important, especially if the price of XRP is able to break out of the key levels. Look at what Safe says.
Smash that like button, guys, as well.
Listed as commodity under CFTC event contracts. XRP commodity, not a security. Big win for clarity and institutions. XRP just joined the elite club of Wall Street. Elite club, and Wall Street is now watching. And Wall Street has been watching, believe it or not, for quite some time. But I think this is a big moment. But look,
this could be a big influx of other traders coming inside, XRP. Look at this trading volume, guys. Look at that. So what this tells me is Upbit is a Korean-based exchange, is a big trading volume. So look at Upbit XRP Korean won. This is because such a big amount of these trades are from Korean holders, Korean traders. So yeah, just think about it. Now every Korean is going to be waking up and they're actually rooting, it's a very big market there. And they're going to wake up and they're going to trade possibly millions and millions.
Fact that what's happening, and what's even interesting right now is the fact that Bitcoin is pushing towards the upside. Dominance is pulling down. It's a win-win situation right now, and I think things could start really looking positive based off of what we're seeing right now, especially this announcement, which came much quicker than I honestly anticipated. But in terms of a timeline perspective, it is amazing. You can see dominance is pulling down 61.17%. Amazing to see. Let's hope we could break down to 60.7%. That would be amazing. If you're looking at BTC, Bitcoin has pushed up, and let me show you guys Bitcoin on an hourly perspective. So you could see, we were having a little bit of a hard time breaking out of that 115,000 key resistance. We broke out of here, and exactly what I talked to you guys about, the 117,000 to be the next level. That's exactly where we are right now, and this is really bullish because if we're able to close a daily candle around here, I'm anticipating 118,000 and start heading towards our all-time highs. But as far as XRP is concerned, because that's what everyone is here for, you could see XRP XRP is pushing and start retesting our yearly levels, which of course kind of dates back to the 2018 levels of resistance. And of course we know the significance of this range, but I want you guys to take a look at this on an hourly perspective, because the next few hours are very, very important. Because if the price of XRP is able to break out of this key range, I'm anticipating some crazy price action in a short span of time.
So yeah, price action from the Korean markets. Again, so much money coming in. We have been waiting this for a long time, but just Ripple being bought out or buying Rail for 200 million definitely means we are in a positive market, and this is the start. So this is the big thing. Ripple just acquired after this announcement is most people are talking about the SEC lawsuit being over, but you guys failed to realize there is another big news I have for you guys. Ripple buying the big thing, and that is Rail. Now, what is Rail and why is it important? And why is this